Are you surprised that so many people are backing the call to not pay?
Well, not really. I know that there is legitimate public anger about how high energy prices are at the present time, and lots of people are hoping that there's some silver bullet which can make the problem go away. But it's very important that people appreciate the consequences of not paying their energy bill, and it's certainly something that we wouldn't advocate in terms of the direct advice that we provide to the public.
Yeah, it's a very difficult one legally, isn't it? Because where are we at the moment with energy bills? As far as I understand it, if you cannot, for some reason, or you get behind on your energy bill, legally they can't cut you off, can they?
Well, it depends if you're on the priority services register, which typically indicates that you've got some degree of higher vulnerability, and you could be exposed to that vulnerability more if you were to be cut off. But there is a distinction between those that can't pay and those that don't pay. And we certainly support those people that aren't in the position to pay, either as a result of their own circumstances or the impact of the energy industry on them. So it's crucial that people understand that if they don't pay, they're likely to get into arrears and ultimately debt. That debt can accumulate to a point where the supplier will either try and recover the costs of that through bailiff action and other types of steps. But also you can have a prepayment meter installed, which is, if it's a traditional prepayment meter, pretty inconvenient really. You've got to go outside and try and top it up and go down to the shops at all times of the day, or be subject to paying higher unit rates to use emergency credit. Or you could be issued with a penalty fine. So whilst you can't have energy interest added to arrears, increasingly energy suppliers are using penalty fines, and you could be subject to those, all of which won't help your situation if genuinely you need support, you can't afford to pay your bills, and that's the reason that you've stopped paying for them because you can't afford it. If you're in that unfortunate situation, energy suppliers do have to work with you to put in place an affordable repayment plan and set that at a level that's manageable for you.
I mean, what's interesting about that, you said one of the options they've got is to put you on, a prepayment card. The problem with all of that, and we know it's a huge problem with these price caps, is that people who are, tend to be on these prepayments, who are on the bottom end of the financial scale, actually end up paying more for their electricity than gas than anybody else. So I mean, they're really stuck between a rock and a hard place.
It is. It's a terrible situation. We know that there's about 4 million prepaid customers across Great Britain, and we know about half of them live on the lowest incomes. And people that are on prepayment are much more likely to be in significant energy debt. And as you say, they pay a premium. They need to pay for their energy up front, which is often a challenge, particularly people that lack, any financial slack in their budgets to do that. And they often have to clear large standing charges on their meter or pay for that debt alongside, which means that people struggle to access units of energy when they do have the funds to top up. So that results in something called self-disconnection, where households aren't disconnected by their energy supplier, but they just can't afford to top up, and the consequence is exactly the same. They forgo the utility of energy in the home to their detriment.